Okay, so my demonstration for tonight is something that I've gotten lots of requests for, different styles of purse tabs. So I've prepared a PDF document with all of the artwork for what you'll need for making purse tabs for different sizes of hardware in both quilting cotton or other substrates like cork, leather, or vinyl. So the link to that PDF document is in the description. I'm going to jump back over to the side camera and show you all the details, the PDF, what the printout looks like, how to assemble everything and attach it to your bag. Okay, so this is the PDF that I've prepared for you. Again, link in the description. It's just one page. You can download it, and it features 4 different styles of purse tabs in 2 different sizes. So I've written a few little notes at the bottom. I'll be discussing it in detail here, but I've just referred to the purse tabs as large and small. So out of the pairs, obviously the bigger one's large and the smaller one's small, and you'll just want to cut those out to the outside of the thick black line. So let me just discuss a little bit about what you'll be doing. Let's talk about using the purse tabs to cut from cork or vinyl, and let me grab this particular style right here just so we can talk about it quickly. Okay, so if you're using cork, leather, or vinyl, you have 2 different options, either large or small. Large will work with 1.5 inch wide hardware, meaning rectangle rings likely, and the small style will work with the 1 inch rings. So you'll be using either of these sizes to cut fabric raw like cork, leather, or vinyl. And I just prepared a pre-cut piece because I normally like to glue one piece to another just so that I can get more accurate cuttings so that they match, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue my first piece. I like using the Beacon 3-in-1 fabric glue. Beacon Fabric Tech is also great, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue it in place. You want to make sure it has a few minutes to dry before you start handling it, but I'm just going to glue it wrong sides together. There you go, and as you can see, I've got the same cork on the other side. So you have a couple different options as far as preparing this piece. So you can either let it dry and then cut it out directly, or you can let it dry and then take it over to the sewing machine, do a little bit of top stitching, and then cut it out. So it's totally up to you. Either method will work. And as you can see, because you cut that first piece out rather than cutting 2 pieces and trying to glue them together, it's more easy to get a really great match because you're cutting that second piece out. Okay, so I'm not going to cut the rest of the piece out. I think you get the idea. You can either leave the cork, leather, or vinyl raw, or you can finish the edges if you'd like with either some fray block, which is clear, or you can use edge coat, which comes in different colors. I've got the black right here, and I have a video on my YouTube channel demonstrating the edge coat if you'd like to see it applied in more detail. But so you have a few options for the cork, leather, or vinyl. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the quilting cotton. So for the purse tabs, if you're using quilting cotton for your tabs, you'll only be using the large option. Okay, so you'll be sewing, well, first off, you'll need obviously 2 pieces. You'll need your 2 pieces cut from fabric and 2 pieces cut from interfacing. Obviously, you'll want to fuse the interfacing with the adhesive side against the wrong side of your fabric. So you have the 2 tab pieces. Likely your bag will have 4 completed tabs, so that means you'll need to cut 8 pieces out of fabric and 8 pieces out of interfacing. Once you've got all of your fabrics cut out, you'll be sewing the tab using 1/4 inch seam allowance. So what I recommend for this, of course you can use the guide either on your sewing machine or the edge of your sewing machine foot to get that 1/4 inch. What I did here, however, I used the smaller tab piece, centered it on my cutout wrong side of the fabric. I used the pattern piece to draw the outside of the small tab piece, and I stitched directly on top of it. Having the drawing there was a lot easier because then I could just focus on watching my needle go along the lines that I drew. As you can see the pink, you can probably see that on camera a little bit. It was really helpful. So that's an option for if you're using the quilting cotton. So what I did was I just trimmed a little bit of the fabric back just to reduce the bulk. It's not quite in half. You want to leave yourself a bit of fabric left over, but depending on what style of tab that you chose, you want to clip the corners. So if there's any corners like this, and anytime there's a curved edge, you want to make little notches, so cut little V's. So what that does is reduces the extra fabric so that when you go to press wrong sides together, it looks really nice instead of having some extra bumps there. So as you can see, there's several tab styles. This one, you'll just notch the pointed edges. For this particular tab, you'll cut the V's or notch wherever there's a curve. And then this one's pretty similar to the one that I just showed you right here. Okay, so then you want to turn these right side out, and I'm using my easy point and turner for that. It made it really quick and easy. So I'm going to first insert the end with the it's got a little hole on this side. So I'm going to slide that in between the layers and clamp it down. And I do have a more detailed video on using the easy point and turner because it has a lot of other uses besides just turning fabric right side out. So I'm just holding it in place and pushing it down with my fingers. And then let me pull this out really quick. This edge without the hole, this is kind of more curved, and you can use this to gently poke your corners out. It's really helpful. So as you can see, this is kind of a multi-purpose tool. Okay, so after you've done that, you'll go ahead and take your finished tab over to your ironing board and give it a good press. All right, so I've prepared all of these tab pieces that I made from the quilting cotton just so that you can see what they look like after they're turned right side out. I recommend drawing a line that's 1.5 inches down from the raw edge and top stitching both of the sides up until that line only. You can probably see my stitches on camera. This one I did a little bit differently. I top stitch all the way over to that sort of pointed edge in the corner right there. So the purpose of that top stitching is we'll be folding this edge of the fabric over and top stitching the lower portion to the bag. So you want the upper portion to be top stitched, not only to hold the layers together, but to look nice and have a continuation of the top stitching. So let me show you with my cork piece that I prepared. As you can see, I've got the top stitching on there already. I'm gonna grab my ruler. Where's my ruler? All right, my ruler's off to the side. So I'm gonna grab my ruler and measure 1 inch down from this top edge. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that that's the 1 inch marking. And that's where you're gonna fold it back and place the hardware. So for this example, I've got my 1 inch wide hardware. And you wanna prepare all of your pairs of tabs in the same manner. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a wonder clip to hold it in place. After you've got that prepared, all you need to do is attach it to your fabric. So I've got my fabric. This is going to be the front of the bag. I've already attached the fabric to the interfacing. I'm using By Annie Soft and Stable foam interfacing here. And what I did before the show is I stitched my tabs in place. So depending on what bag you're working on, you obviously want both of the tabs to be the same measurement down from the top edge and the same measurement in from the side so that they look even. What I did with this particular tab, because I only top stitched up to here, once I stitched it down to the bag, I top stitched the sides and the bottom, and then I came across right here, and that catches this area over here that I folded back previously. So very simple to add tabs to any bag. You just need some hardware. I highly recommend the rectangles in either 1 inch or 1.5 inch. And I hope you enjoy this demonstration. The PDF is located in the description. You can download that for free and save it and use it for when you're working on your bags if you want to kind of change up your tabs or add tabs to a bag that didn't already have them. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have a question for you regarding hardware, which is kind of what we discussed with that purse tab demonstration. Which piece of hardware do you use the most? So I showed you those metal rectangles in my purse tab demonstration. I feel like those are the ones that I use the most, in addition to perhaps a metal slider. So a metal slider, if you haven't used it before, is basically a rectangle with a bar in the middle, and it's really helpful in making adjustable straps, which are really great for any bag.